back, everybody. Today is March 7th. The Spyder is telling me it's 50 degrees, 51 degrees. It keeps bouncing back and forth. When I left the house, it was 42, so we're probably running about 45, 46 degrees, which is not bad. About time we're starting to get some nice weather and some sun. Living in Ohio, it gets kind of gray, but that's not what we're talking about today. I am on 56 and 374. I'm gonna stay on 56 and head to Athens, Ohio, or head towards that way. Just in the backside of the Hocking Hills area. And I think today I want to talk about my Can-Am Spyder. Not why I purchased it, but how I ride it, my plans for it. What do you ride? Your future plans, and how do you ride? So feel free to drop a comment below as we go through. So I have a 2015 F3 SM6. So it's a base model. It's not even the F3S. It's just the F3. I purchased it in, I do believe, July of 2016. It was a year over. It was a year in leftover, so it was pretty much a year old when I purchased it. I bought it and I instantly just I started riding and riding everywhere. My Spyder before this one was a 2014 STS, which I truly loved, but it didn't love me. So this one, I've been everywhere on this thing. I can't even tell you the number of states I've been in and where and how. But I really like this Spyder. It's very comfortable for me. I ride it everywhere. I ride it in all sorts of weather. I don't put the Spyder away. It's always out and about. I use it for commuting back and forth to work. I use it to run my errands. I use it to outrun my problems. I truly just ride and ride and ride. I just turned over 70,000 miles, and that's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm talking about the future plans of this Spyder, how I ride, how I've ridden it, and stuff like that today. I'm an aggressive rider. I like to ride fast. I like taking corners quickly. I try not to do it and put myself at safety or put anybody in harm's way, but I like to be a little aggressive on my Spyder. I probably take some chances that most don't, but I feel I know the Spyder. I know what it is capable of. I know what I'm comfortable and how I'm comfortable riding it. Get through these little twisties. They're tight. They are tight little twisties. I'm gonna come back up to this tight little twisty. There we go. And the Spyder's capable of doing more, but physically right now I can't put much more pressure on the bars to get this thing through a turn. But I love it. I've commuted with it. I've taken weekend trips with it. I've taken, run away from my problems trips with it. And what is this guy doing? So like I said, I've ridden this thing in many different scenarios on many different trips, and I use it as a vehicle more than I used it as a toy, a Can-Am Spyder. Like I said, I run my errands, I go grocery shopping. I've done grocery shopping. I'd rather hop on the Spyder than hop in my vehicle and go. That's kind of changing a little bit this year just because of work. I still get out on my Spyder quite a bit, not as much as I'd like to. So, are you a weekend warrior, or like me, are you out on it all the time? And then, I live in the northern part of the United States. I live in the state of Ohio. We have winter here. I don't put my Spyder away. I try to ride it as much as I can, but I get why people put their toys away. So are you an unfortunate one that has to put yours away for the winter? It's funny being on Facebook and being on a Can-Am Spyder group. You see all these people, it's March and everybody's getting ready to bring their motorcycles out and their Spyders out, and I've been fortunate enough that I've been able to ride as much as I had this year. Okay, so what are my future plans for my almost 4-year-old Can-Am Spyder with 70,000 miles on it? I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. I can say that at this point, as I'm doing upgrades, I'm always going to stay up on the maintenance and stay up on tires and brakes. But when it comes to doing major upgrades, like I just purchased a $600 rear shock. 70,000 miles, Can-Am Spyder, $600 rear shock. You start thinking, was that a good buy? And it can be, I plan on keeping this Spyder as long as I can until it starts doing things that I don't like. And the only real major thing that I'm concerned about on this Spyder is the front dry pulley. I've had too many issues in the past, and that's the one thing that concerns me, is that front dry pulley. But as long as this thing is running well, and I can keep up on the maintenance, and with me riding all year round, there's a bit more corrosion on this than if this thing was kept in a garage and never out in the rain. So I got to keep up on stuff like that. So as long as I can and have the abilities to keep up on it, and the Spyder's safe and it rides good and it runs good, the sky's the limit. Another 30,000 miles, maybe more. Now, that being said, when I do get rid of the Spyder, will another F3S M6 be in the picture? And I'm going to say a base model F3 will not be in the picture. I love my Spyder, but I think I'm starting to transition into, I need something maybe that's a little bit more comfortable, something I can put a little bit more miles on. A dream of mine is getting out west, and I can do it on this Spyder, but if I could get a Spyder that is more comfortable, a little bit more wind protection, cruise control, storage, it would make that easier, and sooner I can make that a reality. So what kind of Spyder do you guys have? Or what kind of motorcycle, and what are your plans? Do you keep it for 2 years and get rid of it? Do you keep it for as long as you can? Drop a comment below. This is the longest I've ever had a Can-Am Spyder. And then what are my future plans for this Spyder, and future plans for your Spyder? So I've talked about upgrading the rear shock, and then the reason why I'm upgrading the rear shock is I plan on doing more trips with my daughter, and she does not like the shock that is on it now, so we need something that's going to make the Spyder a little bit more comfortable for her. Besides that, I don't know if I have any more upgrades for this thing. I think about the only thing I can see that would help this thing in the future is if I do a solo trip, I have plenty of storage. I have a dry bag now that I can kind of strap to the back seat, and that gives me a ton more storage, way more than I'm ever going to need. But if I'm out with my wife starts riding again, or if I'm out on a weekend trip with my daughter and we take the Spyder, we're going to have an issue with space. So, maybe something that I can mount my dry bag to, so we can pack what we need. You can put the gear in the saddlebags, your rain gear, whatever you're gonna need for that day. The frunk's kind of small, so you really can't put a lot in there. It's usually my laptop goes in there, my camera's for YouTube, and then a water, and it's full. But I think after I do that rear shock, the next thing would be something to mount the dry bag to. We got some flowers popping up. And then, as you can see, spring has not come to Ohio yet. Like I said, it's March 7th. And, I watch Sean Smoke's videos, and everything's in bloom. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, everything here is still just dead. But we got blue skies today, so that's awesome. So what have you done to your Spyder? What are your plans? What are you going to do to your Spyder? How have you made it yours? I put this Blue Ridge windscreen on it, some shad saddlebags. I moved the foot pegs up to hole number 4, so the 4th position. I bought the BRP backrest for my wife and daughter. I had a radio at one point, but I got rid of it because I Bluetoothed my music to my helmet, and I liked that better. The dude tied in the hay bale. That's kind of cute. And I think that's about it, And I think on that, I'm done. I'm done with the moto vlog, and I am going to enjoy the rest of my ride. I'm going to listen to some music, and I'll tell you what, this is a day that I could just stay on the Spyder and ride and ride and ride. But unfortunately, I just have a few hours, and then I got to be home. So, thumbs up if you liked the video. Stay safe, everybody, and I'll see you down the road.